pathologist here at Big Blue Canopy. And today I just wanted to share with you some of my favorite language activities or some of my favorite toys that are used a lot of the time during therapy. So first one being Mr. Potato Head. He's one of my favorites. First thing that you could work on, making requests. So if your child is at a single word level, you can work on labeling the different parts. So like eyes, nose, mouth, or using some of the verbs like push or spatial concepts, on, off. And then you can build up to the 2-word phrase level. So like more please, eyes on, 2 eyes, 2 arms, and then building into 3 words. I want more, put on 2, blue hat please. Putting in colors and modifiers will help expand that sentence length as well. And then moving into some of the longer phrases when you have older kiddos, so like I want ears please, or put on blue shoes please. So that can be ways that you can work on requesting to get that expressive language for kids with Mr. Potato Head. Another fun activity that I really like to work on is identifying body parts and clothing items with Mr. Potato Head. So having them point to, for some of your little kiddos who are learning the body parts, where are his eyes, find his ears, find his hat, where are his shoes? And then you can even move into the functions of objects. Like, I don't have his glasses on, but why does Mr. Potato Head wear glasses? Because they help him to see. Why does he need shoes? Because he wants to go outside. He doesn't want to hurt his feet. Or why do we have ears? Because we have to listen. So you can move into the functions of objects as well with him. And then one thing I really like to work on is following directions. So if you're at a basic 1-step level, just having them put on various pieces, like put on eyes, put on the hat, put on the shoes. And you can even do the 1-step directions with embedded concepts, like put on the thing that is black with colors, or put on the thing that we use to see, where it'll make it a little bit more challenging. And then you can move into the 2-step directions. First put on the eyes, then put on the nose. And even making more complex directions by putting in like spatial concepts or modifiers, like put something on top of his head and then put something under his eyes, where it'll be more complex for some of those higher level kiddos, those older kiddos, but still just a simple activity for them. And then you can also work on some of the verbs and action words. So like making Mr. Potato Head do various things like, oh, what is he doing? He is jumping. Or pretending like he's eating food. What is he doing? He is eating. Oh, what is he doing? He is sleeping. Just to help kids get involved with labeling some of those ing verbs. Or you can even do like past tense, like, oh, what did he do? He jumped on the wood. So those are ways to tie in those action words and verbs. And then you could even describe sequences. So if you're working on retail with some of your older kiddos, like, oh, Mr. Potato Head needs to get dressed. What did he put on first? Oh, he put on his hat. And then what did he put on next? He put on his shoes. So you can get some of that first and then language with sequencing and retail. You can also work on pronouns. So I have mainly masculine pieces, but there are some Mrs. Potato Heads that you can find out there working on like, oh, which one is she? Which one is he? Or what is he doing? What is she doing? The hat belongs to him. This hat belongs to her. So those are ways that you can differentiate between those he and she, masculine and feminine pronouns as well. And something also you can work on if you're targeting feelings and emotions. Like you could do, different faces. Like I know some of them, they have like the furrowed eyebrows or like turn the face upside down. Like, oh look, he's happy, he's smiling. Oh no, now he's frowning, he's sad. Why do you think he's sad? Just to work on some of those scenarios where you're talking about emotions and expressing those with kiddos. So moving on from Mr. Potato Head, he's one of my favorites. One of my other favorites is working on farm animals using some of our farm tools or farm toys. So you can work on various things with this as well. With some of our real little kiddos who might not even be using true words yet, I like to work on different animal sounds because they're easy for little kids to imitate. They're usually just consisting of a consonant and a vowel sound, so like neigh, moo, Ba. So you can work on that, just kind of imitating like neigh, and seeing if the child, some of those early younger kiddos can imitate those, or moo for the cow. And also holding the toys like in close proximity to your mouth is helpful too, because then they can see what your mouth is doing. So like if I were working on the cow, moo, so they can see that I'm closing my lips and then rounding them for that oo sound. So it's helpful to hold the toys up to your mouth as well, so the kids can see what your mouth is doing. So same thing when you're modeling requests. If your child's at just a basic one-word level, you can have them label different things like, oh, there's the cow, or pig, and also kind of drawing attention like pop, pop, pig for those initial sounds to what your mouth is doing, or using different concepts like go up, or down, bye-bye, like as you're putting them away. And then you can move into the 2-word phrases, so like adding another word like hi pig, bye cow, brown cow, go up, and then moving into the 3 words, move 2 pigs, brown cow please, and then into the longer 4 and 5 word sentences like I want pigs please, or give me cow please, as those kids move on and they're putting together more than just the single words together in phrases and sentences. Directions for this activity that I really like, if you're just doing some basic step, you can just have them work on like, give me the cow, pick up the pig, put in horse. And then you can move into more complex 2-step directions. First give me the cow, then give me the pig. And then putting concepts within the multi-step directions. Put the cow, you could even do like spatial concepts, put the cow on top of the barn, and then put the horse in the grass. So something like that, where they have to listen for not only what objects you're doing the directions with, but also the embedded concepts within it. And then you can also work on the actions during play, like making the cow do different things like eating, like, oh, what is he doing? He is eating the grass. Oh, what is he doing in the bed? The cow is sleeping. Night, night, cow. Just so they can get the exposure to those action words as well, and those ing verbs. Something that you can work on that's a little bit higher level for some of your older kiddos, you can compare and contrast the animals. So coming up with like similarities and differences, like, oh, look, what group do they both go in? They are both animals. Do they have colors in common? Oh, they're both brown. Oh, now what makes them different? He says neigh, he says moo. The cow gives us milk, a horse does not. So they can work on those comparing and contrasting activities as well. Language concepts that you can work in with this, like, and you could even like get a little tiny bowl of water or like a little bowl of flour and put it on them like, oh no, the cow got water on him, he is, and have them fill in wet. Oh, he has dust all over him, he is dirty. Okay, now we're gonna wash him, now he is clean. So they can start working in those language concepts, clean, dirty, big, little, wet, dry. Those are all very helpful too. You can also work on a variety of questions. Where questions are great with this activity, like you can hide the animals, like, oh look, where did the cow go? He is on top of the barn. And try to get those kiddos to answer with those prepositional phrases in response to the where questions instead of just like pointing or like there. Have them try to use one of those phrases like on top or under the barn or in the barn, inside. Those are all, or behind the barn, those are all good strategies for working on building that language as well. And other WH questions you can ask, what, when, why, who questions, like what is the pig eating? He's eating grass. When do the animals go in the barn? When it's time to go to sleep. Or why is the pig dirty? Because he rolled in the mud. Or who is taking care of the animals? The farmer. So this is one of my favorite activities that I like to use a lot with kiddos too. And you can even modify it for some of the older kids too, where it's not for just the little ones. And then one more activity I'll share with you guys today. Very simple, and kids love them, bubbles. It can be very helpful with lip rounding skills, so having the kids work on, and even if you just catch the bubble on the wand, having them work on blowing it off, instead of using like those flat lips, like try to facilitate where the lips are going around. Working on lip rounding will help with straw drinking, different skills like that. The rounded vowel sounds like ooh and o, the W sound, what, those all involve the lips being rounded. So that's a good activity for that. And then making requests, so not to be too repetitive, but building the single words. So like those M, P, and B sounds, like I mentioned, they're very visual. So like more, pop, bubbles. Those will be easy for kids to imitate early on, as well as like open vowel sounds like open, up, on. Those are easy for kids to imitate, and they're very visual as well. And then you can build there, like the 2-word phrases, bubbles please, go up, I pop, adding pronouns in there as well, and the verbs. And then to like the 3-word phrases, more bubbles please, I want bubbles, open bubbles please, and then expanding to the longer 4- and 5-word phrases, I want more bubbles, it's my turn please, and so on. And then I mentioned like those M, P, and B sounds, just cueing them, like keep your lips together when making these sounds, more bubbles. Sometimes I've even had kids, when I catch the bubbles on the wand, like work it on trying to do like that P sound, like pop, 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 and making the bubble dance. That's kind of reinforcing and encouraging for kids to get that airflow and that popping sound. And then you can also work on actions and verbs with this, like, oh, what did I do with the bubbles? Some of those past tense verbs, I blew the bubble, I popped the bubble, I opened the bubbles. Or what are we doing? We are popping, we are blowing. So like the past tense verbs, adding the ed ending, or like the ing verbs as you're doing it. Asking where questions, like blowing the bubbles in various locations of the house or the room, like, oh, where did the bubble go? It went on the floor. Or, oh, where did it go over there? It went on the chair, or it went on the table. And trying to reinforce using those prepositional phrases instead of just like gesturing or pointing when responding to the where questions. And you can even work on the language concepts with this too, like, should I blow little tiny bubbles or big, big, big bubbles? Should the bubbles go up or should they go down? The bubbles are wet, they are not dry. So working on some of those concepts will be helpful too to build on those language skills. So those are the 3 activities I wanted to go through with you today. I should have more in a couple weeks that I am looking forward to sharing with you.